Hi guys, welcome back. Paranormal phenomenon is something we cannot explain, but I think we can pretty much agree that it's something that really exists. And you know, it's always fun to see reporters react to this type of stuff. I mean, we all saw those inexplicable, uncanny footages of things that seem so unreal. And we certainly like to watch this stuff, so why don't we get right into it? Debbie Merrick came to a morning show with a very interesting case. She told the host that she has a doll, and apparently that doll is possessed. She bought the doll not long ago, but ever since then, a lot of weird things happen. Just the fact that some of her family members woke up all covered in scratches is very disturbing. And there was one time when the fire alarm went off for no particular reason. Also, strange stuff was happening in the kitchen where utensils and cutlery were flying all over the place, while there was actually no one there. During the interview, Debbie was too frightened even to look at the doll. And rightfully so. The doll looks very scary. It also seems like one of her eyes is bigger than the other one. And so, while they're talking, we can all see the doll casually swinging in that rocking chair. That's crazy stuff, right, you guys? And what we see here is a live broadcast. We see some British government official walking with a red folder in his hands. He's accompanied by his assistant who tries to make sure that they don't get followed by annoying reporters. So the weird thing happens after this man passes the car. The red folder suddenly changes its color. Although it might be a completely different folder. We don't know. But that's some weird stuff right there, don't you think, guys? Both folders appear to have a golden sort of seal on them. I guess this can be explained by the fact that someone who was in that car gave that man a different folder. It just happened so fast, it's unbelievable. This might very well be a video montage, but I guess there's just no way of knowing for sure. I mean, in this day and age of technological advancement, you just never know. Maybe you guys have some thoughts on this one. The weather lady from the Canadian Global BC, Christy Garden, got attacked by a giant spider right in the middle of her weather report. She got really spooked by that spider. Her colleagues, however, were laughing like crazy. Poor Christy got so spooked she probably thought she was gonna die. Such shock on live television. That's crazy. I mean, she was just trying to warn people that it's gonna rain in a few days and that everyone should get their umbrellas ready. Well, obviously it wasn't a giant spider. The camera lens just made it look like it's big. Christy got so scared because she thought the spider was going after her head. You can't blame a lady for that and say this was unprofessional. After all, most women are afraid of spiders. It's a good thing she didn't start to swear. Now that would be very unprofessional.
Oh my gosh, that was creepy.
Guess what, you guys? Someone saw a UFO and shot it on camera. It was someone from Fox News. The video got viral very fast. So the video shows us some flying object that moves extremely fast, and it makes it very hard to see what it actually is. That's why most people say it's a UFO. And of course everyone started talking about it online. Some were saying that this UFO could be just a boomerang or a frisbee, but ufologists are quite convinced that this was a real UFO. Well, what else will these people say? This is a piece from C5N, a news channel in Argentina. What we see is a city of Buenos Aires, We can also see some shiny object in the sky. The TV reporters were shocked to see that thing. Mariela Fernandez was the first to say that it sure wasn't a plane. A lot of people were instantly convinced that it was a UFO. After all, we all want to believe, right? We just feel confused about what it is that we want to believe in. Anyway, this story blew up on social media, and people were talking about it for a very long time. Have you guys ever saw a Grim Reaper on TV? Well, here it is. Perhaps some of you thought that this lady is done. But nope, fortunately this wasn't a real Grim Reaper. It is activist Daniel Olfender. He decided to put on his costume to warn those who don't follow social distancing rules. He believes that people are in great danger when they come close to one another, thinking that they can infect one another with the coronavirus. So, if you guys ever find yourself on a beach in Florida these days and you see the Grim Reaper, don't worry, it's not death, it's just Daniel. Here is something spooky for you guys. Seems like a normal female TV reporter at first glance. But then we noticed that this lady appeared to be blinking a bit too often. But that's not what's weird. What's weird is what happens to one of her eyes. I've never seen anything quite like that before in my life. I don't think you did either. It's like one moment she has a perfectly ordinary eye, and then it becomes all white and empty. Another strange thing is that as soon as that happens, the broadcast just stops. So here are a few similar situations. Can it be that all these people are aliens and they just pretend to be humans? On April 13 this year, a very strange video started to spread all across the internet. It was shot in Italy. It features Pope Francis during his official appearance. It ends with him going away, and we can clearly see that he don't just leave. It's like he dissolves into darkness. For many viewers across the world, it seemed very, very strange. Many people felt like the Pope gone unfathomable. People were practically shocked by what they saw. Nobody could grasp the idea that a man would disappear just like that. At first there was everyone thinking that it's just some sort of joke and a video montage. But there were many people filming this, and it's just the same thing from all the angles. It's like the Pope completely disappears in the void of the room. Here's a footage of Denver reporter standing in a forest at night. Suddenly, we see an animal walk into the frame. The lady first thought this was just a dog, but then when it got closer, it turned out that it was a coyote. Well, at least it wasn't a wolf. Would you look at the lady's face, you guys? She looks very frightened when she realizes that this isn't a dog. It's a good thing she didn't run away all screaming and yelling. Interestingly enough, the coyote didn't seem to mind her at all. It just walked past the reporter like she wasn't even there. Mexican rescue workers found something they thought was terrifying. It happened near one of the schools. When the camera zooms in, we kinda see some strange figure staring at us from the crack. The closer it gets, the more frightening features we begin to notice. The face appears to be covered in darkness, but we can still see some eyes and something that looks like black hair in the darkness. Although it might as well be just a crack in the wall and there's actually no one there at all. And it's just a figment of our imagination, you guys. This is a fragment of a Chilean late-night show. There's nothing paranormal in this footage, but actually, if you look closely, you might as well spot something that is quite strange. So have a look and see what you might find. So, did you notice anything strange? The little tree on that table moved, and it moved by itself. It's not like the host touched it, although he did touch that piece of paper on the table there. And it wasn't wind or anything. There's no wind in the studio. Plus, I imagine that thing is quite heavy. Well, I have no idea what happened there. Merrill's Plantation in St. Francisville is a legendary place. It gets visited by many people every year. The reason why it's so famous is because people think that place is haunted. If you want to, you can stay there for a night or two. And even though some people don't believe those are real ghosts, many people say they noticed some strange things while they were there. Things like fog, for example, or traces of children's feet here and there, even though there weren't any kids in the premises. Vanessa Bolano did a report there one time, and in this video we see some strange object behind her back. That something looked like some kind of ghost, and it moved very fast. By the way, at that very moment the lady was mentioning 12 ghosts that, according to some people, still live in that house till this day. And so lastly, here's a video that shows us some kind of strange shadows above the road. While the lady talks about an accident that took place at the spot not long ago, there's something weird happening behind her back. And how often do you guys see strange things like that? If you like this video, guys, hit the like button and subscribe to Real Bizarre. Also, press the bell and share this video with your friends. Check out some more videos in Real Bizarre. And until next time, bye!